Hi there, welcome to the SkateHut channel. I'm here with aggressive inline skater Zak Aaron, everybody. Welcome to the SkateHut store, how are you?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. Good, happy to be here.
Good, where have you hailed from then? Where have you come from today?
Stansted I've come from, Essex.
Yeah, okay. So it's a bit of a trek for you today.
Quite a drive, but we're going to go to Corby on the way back, so.
Okay, so Adrenaline Alley, we know that place very well. It's very good skate park.
Yeah, it is the best place.
We're really pleased to have you here. So I just want to talk about kind of like what you've been up to for the past few years, kind of what got you into aggressive inline skating and where you see yourself going from here, basically. So you started off skating as a kid, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then you went into mountain biking. So you had a bit of a sabbatical, but then you went back into aggressive inline skating.
Yeah,
so explain that kind of your decision making there and your journey throughout that. What made you want to kind of try mountain biking and then go back into aggressive inline skating?
So I got into skating when I was about 11, and then I was always just obsessed with doing flips and spins and jumps, more like the guys I would see doing on BMX or whatever.
Yeah.
We wouldn't really see so many rollerbladers doing it. It was more focused on like grinding and
so it was
street
more
side of it.
Yeah, the street side. So you wanted to explore more of the kind of the park kind of side of things.
So I stuck out skating for a good sort of 5-6 years, and then just started to get a little bit bored of it. Started trying to find other things. Did a little bit of motocross racing. And then did mountain biking and fell in love with that, and that sort of took over.
Did that for a while, and then what kind of then pushed you back into aggressive inline skating there? Did you kind of want to put your own stamp on it and just experiment a bit more with going back into skating? Yeah,
now I'm older, I'd kind of realised that I could just sort of skate however I wanted and do what I wanted with it. And a lot of that I put down to the scooter and seeing what all the scooter guys are doing, because that wasn't really around when I first started rollerblading. And all the flips and spins and things that they were doing sort of made me realise more that you can do that on anything. Like, it doesn't have to just be a bike or a BMX.
Absolutely,
if you know what I mean. So I just, as an adult, I weren't so bothered with trying to like fit in, if you know what I mean, and fit into what all the normal rollerbladers would do. And I was just like, I just want to have fun with it and do my own thing, do what I enjoy doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you said like stunt scooter riding wasn't a massive thing like a few years ago. I think it's definitely risen in the past few years, and it's become really popular. And looking at some of the pro riders, they're athletes. And like you said, they're doing their flips. They're doing amazing feats.
Yeah, it's insane now.
Yeah, I was saying actually before we came down, it's just like looking at some of your stuff. I even said like the aggressive inline skating is very, very similar to stunt scooter riding because they're the same kind of tricks. They're the flips. They're the kind of and it's very much more kind of gymnastic in a way. And it's not like skateboarding or kind of roller skating or stuff. Those two are very kind of linked in a way. So it's great to see you sort of take your own kind of stance on that and push it forward. And it's quite interesting to see as well, when you go to like Adrenaline Alley and parks like that, you don't see many aggressive inline skaters, do you?
No, you don't see many at all. No. And if you do, they're normally in the street section just doing grinds. It's kind of like older people that have stuck it out and are just purely doing it for a little bit of fun and enjoyment. You don't get many that seem to be like pushing it, if you know what I mean, the same way that you do with the scooter guys or the bike guys. There's a lot more of that and a lot more focused, if you know what I mean, a lot more professional about it. Yeah,
and you definitely seem to be moving towards that direction of going
trying to. Yeah, I'd like to.
You went into championships, didn't you? March, was it?
It was in March? May. I went to the Fees, out in Montpellier.
Yeah,
that
must have been an experience.
Sick experience. Big learning curve as well.
Where did you sort of finish from there? Because could they go into the finals during that?
They actually cancelled my final because of rain. But I had qualified for the final, and so then they based the results off of qualifying results, which left me in 5th. So I was quite happy with that. I'd fallen in both of my runs as well, so considering I'd crashed in both runs, it was good.
Definitely. So we've got more kind of comps in the future that you're looking at?
Got another 2 planned for this year, another one in August, which is another FEES event in France. And then Nantes Roller Festival, which again is in France. Most of the competitions for rollerblading seem to be like in Europe or France. Don't seem to have many in this country.
Well, maybe we need to lead the way on that.
Maybe. Hopefully, it would be nice. We had British inline championships a few years ago, but seems to have died off. So.
And do you get sponsorship for those kind of things as well? Do you?
I don't, but some people do.
So you just go off in your own pocket and you just pretend?
I had to save up for it.
That's very commendable. Well, you really do have a dedication to it then, don't you?
Thanks.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at what you do and looking at the championships, it does look amazing. I mean, it's nerve-wracking, some of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
very.
Clearly after that adrenaline.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what kind of, just moving on from that then, where do you see yourself going forward over the next few years? I mean, your influence has grown on Instagram. You've kind of grown your following on that, haven't you?
Yeah, it's getting there slowly.
So I think you're over like 2,000 followers at the moment.
2,600 or something like that
now.
Isn't much compared to a lot of the big names, but
I think where you see where you've been
there
in the past, like even a few months ago, that's grown massively.
Yeah, I was only on like 1,000 or so just the start of this year, so it's gone up since I've been posting more videos, but it's just trying to keep the content. Do
you think there's a rising interest in aggressive inline skating?
Definitely seems to be getting more popular again since all the lockdowns from COVID. A lot of people have just tried to pick up a hobby again, or something that they can do for enjoyment, I guess, and keep themselves busy.
Yeah.
And that's definitely sparked a big interest in it for sure.
Brilliant. What's been your biggest, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, it mainly seems to be adults at the minute that are getting into it, and there's just very few kids, which is what we need to try and push more and get more children into it.
How would you encourage kids to get into this?
Just by trying to do what I have been doing, really putting out videos and trying to put out exciting content. Like, I personally feel like a lot of the time if kids show up at the skate park and just see a bunch of rollerbladers just grinding down a little row over and over again, doesn't look so interesting as when they then go and see a bike do a big double backflip or something like that over a jump box.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do more of those kind of tricks to get kids excited about it, I guess. And
they probably don't realise. They probably don't realise you can flare as much.
I didn't when I was a child. I didn't know that half the tricks that I'm doing now are even possible. I had no idea, and just sort of thought that you could only really do that if you're on a bike. Or
Yeah, because I remember doing inline skating when I was a kid, back in the 90s. And that was a massive thing, but that was literally like a roller disco, and you just go round and round. And
I've never even been to a roller disco, so I should probably try that one day.
Yeah, you'd own the place, I think.
Maybe.
You're doing flips all up and down it. So, so where do you see, we talked about the championships and kind of, where do you see yourself going forward? Do you see yourself growing your following more? Do you see this being a long-term kind of thing that you kind of want to get into professionally?
I'd like to, if possible, yeah. I think at the minute the industry's quite small and there's not a lot of money within rollerblading, so very few people actually make a decent living out of it.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely would like to try and push it as much as I can and keep growing my social media and see if there's any ways of making money out of that.
It feels like you're kind of shouldering a lot of the responsibility to try and push in aggressive inline skating out, because it is quite niche, it is quite small, but there is definitely potential there.
There is, for sure, but there's just not enough people at the minute doing it, I guess, to get it out there.
Yeah, I think that I've definitely seen there has been sort of resurgence, and even with roller skating in general, there has been a resurgence in that, especially as you said, like with the lockdown and people kind of going out a bit more. But, you know, we see roller jams and kind of roller discos, and they're a very different thing, and they're kind of their own scene.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of adrenaline-seeking, kind of aggressive inline skating that I think that a lot more people will be interested in if they just knew kind of the potential around it and what they could actually achieve doing it. Because some of the stuff that you do, I mean, you're doing backflips, and you know, it's incredible to look at. So,
thank you.
Yeah. So
it's good fun.
Is there any? I mean, talking about going professional, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, or is there anyone kind of you think that deserves a mention to kind of promote the scene?
Definitely my girlfriend. She is very supportive with it, and she takes me everywhere. Films all my clips pretty much and all the videos. So.
Big shout out to Grace.
Yeah, massive shout out to Grace. Shit, I wouldn't be able to do it without her for sure. And my friend, I've got a friend Razzle, who's like a really old school rollerblader who's been into it for so many years.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of experience, and he helps me out a lot with advice and parts and things like that. So he's brilliant as well. And
would there be any tips or advice you'd give to anyone who would want to start getting into this? You know, what should they expect? What sort of gear should they get? You know.
To start with, just any pair of rollerblades will do to get you learning. I started out on some really basic skates from Argos when I was a kid. So you don't need the best skates to begin with.
Yeah.
It helps, but yeah, just anything and getting out there and just having a go, not being scared. Not being scared to fall over is important.
Yeah. That will happen.
Always.
But you won't hurt yourself if you're wearing protection.
No, that's it. Always falling over, but it's good fun and you just got to have a go.
So saying if I wanted to start off and what would be some tricks which would be quite easy to do? Just like a stationary jump or like sort of like a bunny hop? Or
Yeah, you can jump on the floor, you can learn 180s, 360, I think I can 540 on the floor flat. I've seen some people even do things like fakie backflips on the flat, so you can you can do many tricks on the flat, but to begin with it'd just be learning just skating, getting a good technique of skating, going fakie, practicing your stopping like T-stops, things like that. Just to get
and then eventually moving into like dropping in.
Yeah, once you're feeling comfortable on your skates, then you start progressing onto the ramps, work your way up the size of the ramps, and start getting some air. And yeah, you just go from there. It all leads on. Yeah.
And is there any brands or kind of types of inline skates that you particularly like, or you definitely vouch for if you're going into the professional kind of level?
Yeah, I always have stuck with USD normally.
Yeah.
They're really good skates, really popular. Yeah. They've got loads of different types.
Yeah.
To suit, but there's quite a few different brands that have got brilliant skates out there.
Yeah.
A lot of it depends on your foot shape and size. Everyone's feet are different, if you know what I mean. So what feels good for me might not feel good for you.
Right. Yeah.
The boot's just different.
So you just got to try it out. And
a lot of it is trial and error. So
you'd probably recommend if you were looking for a pair of inline skates, you want to buy a pair. You probably want to go in, try them on like any pair of shoes, and just see if they just go around a bit and just see if they help.
Yeah, it definitely helps if you're able to try them on first.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Get a feel for them.
Yeah. Is there any level of like customization you can do with inline skates? Can you change the wheels out as well? And,
for sure you can change your wheels. On my skates I have USD Aeons, so they have a frame that's like built into the boot, so you can't change as much on mine. But most skates have what's called UFS, and so you can take the frames off, you can take all the wheels off, you can normally take the sole plate off, which is the part you grind on underneath your foot. You can normally take the liners out, put new liners in. Laces, all things like that. So yeah, you can do quite a lot.
Brilliant, yeah, because I know customization is quite a big thing, even with like scooters as well, and obviously with skateboards. So it's good to know. Well, roller skating as well, but going into inline skating as well. Yeah, if you can customize that as well, just put your own personal stamp on it.
I used to love back in the day. I used to dye my skates with like Rit dye or something. It was called. Yeah, I used to remember doing that. Having like bright
you could put
red
stickers
skates,
on them as well. Yeah,
yellow skates, purple skates, all sorts of colours. Yeah, I wouldn't do that now. I just stick to like black skates or something basic. But
so just going back to Adrenaline Alley, is that where we'd normally find you then?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm normally there once or twice a week.
Yeah.
It's the place to be really if you want to progress, because with all the foam pits and the resis,
you can just crash into there and
they've got everything you need really to be able to learn and progress without injuring yourself too much.
Are there any other locations that you really like that you've skated before, or any kind of like street spots? Because you're mainly a park skater, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much only park. I've done a little bit of street, but I just never really enjoyed it that much. I just love getting big air and flipping around and stuff, which you can't really do as easily on the street.
Yeah.
So.
And you haven't been to Greystone yet?
Haven't been to Greystone, no. It's on my list. It looks amazing.
It is
I want to go
great.
there. I've been to Asylum. That's a really good skate park.
Yeah. I don't think I've been there yet. But you want to go to, you've been to Creation as well, haven't you?
Creation, yeah. Creation's a really good one. That's fun. They've got a massive vert there, which is good.
Yes, yeah. I've seen it.
Not very good at skating vert myself. It's a bit scary.
That would be daunting for anyone, I think. But yeah, that's just up the road from us. But then we also have Just Ramps as well, which I think you haven't been to that one yet either as well. So
haven't, no. Got quite a few to check out.
Yeah, definitely. But I think Adrenaline Alley, I think, as you said, that's the best place, really, I think, for an aggressive inline skater.
Yeah.
And I think because there are so many scooter riders that go there as well, and you're saying that it is a very similar way of kind of doing tricks and things like that. And I imagine there's a bit of collaboration there, isn't there, with
all the time, A lot of my friends that I ride with are scooter riders or BMXers.
Yeah.
So we're always...
I've seen a few videos of you doing almost like you're doing kind of in sync with some scooter riders as well. Those are a lot of fun. Yeah, so you've talked about doing competitions and you've talked about your progression. So in the next kind of, say, 2 to 5 years, what would be the perfect future for you in terms of inline skating?
Well, my main goal, what I would like to reach is world champion.
Right.
That's what I would like to get. So if I can progress enough to do that and achieve that goal, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah. I think obviously looking for sponsorship would be amazing as well.
Sponsors will definitely help for sure, but yeah, I could manage without, so it's not the end of the world.
What's the biggest competition at the moment?
It's the fees. Fees is the biggest ones. They're like known as the World Cups.
Yeah. I imagine then there's all the cost of the flights and the accommodation.
Not cheap. Yeah, it took a while to save up for, but.
But I guess if you win, you get are the prize pools fairly big as well?
Yeah, the prize is not too bad.
Well, I guess for the world champs, and then there's obviously the reputation you get from that as well.
No, that's it, and then hopefully that could lead on to more sponsorships or opportunities that way.
Brilliant. Well, we'll be keeping an eye on you on Instagram.
Sick, thank you.
Any other channels as well that you're on? Are there any kind of YouTube channels as well that you're on?
No, I'm on YouTube, but I don't ever really post on there. I probably should start doing it a bit
quite
more.
hard work posting on YouTube.
But no, I have been meaning to start doing some more for that, but no, it's mainly just Instagram and TikTok for now.
TikTok,
I'm on the TikTok as well.
On TikTok. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of just been looking at like skateboarding and stunt scooter riding a lot throughout my time here, but looking at aggressive inline skate, I think this is something that could definitely be the next big thing.
I would hope so. I've always thought the same.
Yeah, and I think just looking at how you do it, it just feels like you have more freedom.
That's exactly how it feels when you do it. Yeah, that's why I've always loved it.
Yeah, because you're not confined to a deck or anything like that.
Just
it's
feels
just your feet
like
with wheels on.
Yeah, it just feels like yourself, and you can just throw yourself around how you are, not worry about a bike landing on you or your skateboard flying off.
And you just get back up and
you just carry on again. So it's good. It's really good fun.
Yeah, it looks it. Maybe I might try and do some aggressive inline skating at some point.
Do it. I'd be happy to teach you a little bit.
You can teach me, next time we're down at Adrenaline Alley, you can look out for me and be like, Zach.
Get you doing a backflip by the end of the day.
Let's start off simple first. I think jumping or just moving forward would be enough for me. So, Zach, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you very much for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.